Welcome to your April reading. I told you guys in the March reading, sorry, I gotta grab some cards. I told you guys in the March reading because I had done your March reading so late that I was gonna bring it in early. You guys were gonna get your reading after I did the happy birthday one, so that's how much I appreciate you. We're going to talk a little bit about astrology stuff. We're not going to get super duper in depth, but there are a couple of things that we do need to discuss for April astrology. First, we have the Aries total solar eclipse happening. That'll be happening on the 19th of April. That's happening in your fourth house for Capricorn risings. It's happening in the fourth house. I do have a reading up if you would like to know how this eclipse season and how your October eclipse season is going to go. This eclipse season consists of the Aries total solar eclipse at 29 degrees, which means it's the second new moon in Aries that we've had this year. That doesn't happen very often. And then the next eclipse that will happen will be the full moon in Scorpio on May 5th. And that'll be happening in your 11th house. So that'll be the lunar eclipse cycle for this cycle. And then we'll have an eclipse cycle in October with a Taurus full moon and a Libra new moon and a Taurus full moon. So, and we're shifting nodes. So that'll be happening in July. We'll be regressing back to Aries. The North Node will be regressing back to Aries. So, we talked about in March how Saturn is now in Pisces, Pluto is now in Aquarius. This is the time in July when the nodes shift as well for the next year and a half. So there's like a full generational shift that's going on that's happening right now. Like we're moving into whole brand new territory, and nobody really knows what this is going to look like for any of us. So for you guys, this solar eclipse that's going to be happening in your fourth house is really asking you, the fourth house talks about stability, but in a broader way, it talks about like our ancestral timelines and working with our ancestors and really digging deep into our the generational wounds that we're looking at right now. The fourth house represents our innermost world, and when we get triggered, that means that there was a wound already inside of us that's being triggered, that's getting triggered like that. So the fourth, this Aries eclipse is really going to be digging that out for you. And the reason why I say that the fourth house is about stability is, oftentimes people think the fourth house is about like, what does my abode look like? But your abode is your body. The fourth house is Jupiter. I remember when Jupiter was transiting my fourth house. I don't know why this is popping up, but it was in Capricorn. When Jupiter was in Capricorn, he was transiting my fourth house, and I started gaining weight. Like wasn't even changing my diet. I was eating the same thing that I was eating before, but all of a sudden I started gaining weight, and I was like, oh my God, this is Jupiter's doing. So the fourth house is very much about the body. And it's very much about like how we're, what's going on inside of our, our body and our form. So, you know, recognizing that the way you feel stable and the way you feel safe and nurtured and cared for and contained in life really starts within you. It really starts with you and where your heart is as well. So watch for themes, and you may even find, like in your actual house, you may even find that it's time for you to renovate. If your outside life is not reflecting what's going on the inside, this is going to be an opportunity for you to change that and for you to let the outside start mirroring your inner world. And then, of course, then the May 5th Scorpio lunar eclipse will be happening in the 11th house. We'll talk about that when we get there. And then we have the 21st through, so we have April 21st through May 14th. We're going to have the Mercury retrograde, the second Mercury retrograde of the year will be happening in Taurus in your 5th house. So you may find during this retrograde, so the pre-shadow starts April 5th. So start looking at I always find that the pre-shadow and the post-shadow of Mercury retrograde like hits me harder. I'm not entirely sure why that's the case, but that's what I notice. I notice the pre-shadow and the post-shadow are the harder parts for me. So, but like looking at clues, the pre-shadow will give you clues as to what this retrograde is teaching you or showing you or what it is that you need to pay attention to, because that's really all it is. I can't wait for retrograde season. I can't wait for Mercury to go retrograde because I feel like March was literally like 2 days long. And yeah, I feel like we had a really long January and a really long February, and then March was 2 days long. And then now all of a sudden we're in April. Like the first quarter of the year is already done. That's crazy to me. That's insane. So here we are. What did I write down here? Mercury retrograde in your 5th house, you may find your creative expression is asking you to look at things differently. Bring back some old projects. Like if you had to like put things away in the past because they were either getting frustrating for you or they weren't working out or things weren't, turning out the way that you wanted them to turn out or the way that you wanted them to look. This is going to be a time you can drag those things out of the closet and get it, take another look at it and see if you can make it work this time. Your self-expression, you may find, don't get into arguments with people. You really want to be authentic during this Mercury retrograde. That's going to be a really big thing because people are it's going to be a kind of a judgmental one. People are going to be looking at others sideways. I don't know. Everything is weird right now, you guys. Like life is just strange. So here we are. We're all in it. Let's see what you guys are surrendering. So the power of surrender. We're working like all of this natural light back here and it's just shining like right in my face. So sometimes I have to duck and look. Thought about wearing my heart-shaped glasses. All right. This is a big one, you guys. This is a big one. Surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. Surrender to your soul's path. Let me read that again, because I feel like that was kind of a heavy one for you. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. A lot of that I'm feeling that's coming up is like even in the midst of frustration, even when things aren't going the way that you would like for them to be going, you have to understand that's still designed for your soul's path. I'm not a really big fan of talking about like, how they say like you chose this path, your soul before you got here, you chose all of this. The thing is we don't know whether that's true or not. Like, honestly, like if we're all being really honest with ourselves, we don't know whether that is the absolute truth. For some people, that can be their truth. For other people, it may not be your truth. And both ways, it's perfectly fine, right? Like, no, there's no wrong way or right way to think about what our soul's journey looks like. For me, I do believe that there were particular lessons and there were things that I needed to come and learn in this lifetime because this is my last lifetime. I knew that as a little girl. I knew that I wasn't like, somehow I knew that this was just, my finalized time. And, I've done everything. I've seen everything. I'm, whatever. That's what I feel in my soul. Some people feel that it's not, right? So, um, really paying attention to the lessons, to the hard times too, because life isn't easy and it was never promised to be easy. You deserve happiness, but the only way that you're going to get that happiness is if you choose that for yourself, right? So, surrendering to your soul's path, you can choose happiness even in the hardest of times. You can choose joy even in on your worst days. And that is surrendering to your soul's path, because I know that your soul's path isn't to sit in suffering and misery. Um, Maybe some people feel like it is, but suffering and misery is an egoic part. And so learning how to not suffer and not go through misery, that is part of a soul path. So the two cards that came out, we have the Knight of Pentacles and we have the Hierophant. And this is exactly what I was talking about with that Knight of Pentacles moving towards the Hierophant. The Hierophant in so many ways talks about our spiritual journey. And this is kind of like a higher consciousness leveling up card, and then having Temperance right there next to it. Oh wow, we have two cards here that flipped over. My animal book. Let me move my animal book. Totally forgot that was there. Okay. Oh, great. This is awesome. Awesome. Okay. So, and then we had Temperance. So on the top part, we have this Knight of Pentacles, we have the Hierophant, and we have Temperance. And so moving, like surrendering to your soul's path, is also recognizing that you don't want to skip the steps in it either, right? So the Knight of Pentacles is about not skipping the steps. Things are coming slowly, but they're still showing up, right? And you could be dealing with a Taurus or a Sagittarius energy, but these two just feel very much like a leveling up is happening. Temperance is that patience, it's that balance, it's making decisions with your heart and your mind. And the major arcana are like our road signs. Like these are the things we want to pay attention to. So you're moving towards this leveling up and this and leveling up for yourself, not leveling up for the world. This is the soul's, right? The soul's path that we're surrendering to. On the bottom, we have the Three of Wands. We have the Five of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Cups and the Ace of Cups. So, while you're on this soul's path and while you're just kind of having to not skip the steps and move forward direction, you're waiting. And during this waiting, there's a lot of lack mentality and a lot of confusion because, you may like, let me give you an example of as to like kind of what's going on in my life a little bit. We are in this liminal space, like we're in limbo, right? We're in this liminal space. We're not really sure what direction we're supposed to be going in, but we keep getting like these little blessings. The universe keeps kind of dropping these little blessings and these little like new pathway things in front of us. And so we're still getting answers through all of it, but we're not getting the full picture. We're not getting the whole thing. We have to take steps, step by step by step, right? And not skip that. And the best and easiest way to do that through the confusion and not really sure, the lack mentality, that Five of Pentacles is not really feeling good about your financial status or like what's happening on the material part of your life. The best way to get through this is by filling up your own cup. By, coming back to yourself. By using source, power, to come back to yourself. Um, and I feel like that's what you're waiting for. I feel like this is something that you're waiting for. I feel like it's, and the patience, you can become very impatient during this. It's funny because the hanged man is at the bottom of the deck, and that's exactly what I feel. I feel like you're in this paused, this limbo, right? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing this way. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing this way. I do know that I'm supposed to keep moving forward, though, even through the confusion, even through the lack mentality. Let's see what this Knight of Pentacles is. Oh, nice. Okay. So, Queen of Swords on the Knight of Pentacles. So, the Knight of Pentacles is very much your energy, but I feel like your energy is also in this Queen of Swords vibe too. Some of you may be dealing with an air sign, but I feel like this is you, very focused. The Queen of Swords can sometimes be very tunnel visioned, but she's very focused. She means what she says, and she says what she means. So, like, being very straightforward about what it is, where you're going, and what it is that you desire, and like, give yourself that opportunity to write it down. Even very much Queen of Swords energy, talking about it, writing it down kind of thing. 10 of Pentacles. See, here we go. 10 of Pentacles on the Hierophant. The 10 of Pentacles is a completion card, but this is literally like, this is the direction that you're headed in. For some of you, there's a Taurus that might be helping you to boost your financial situation right now, or a Taurus energy in some way. That even could be you. You could be the Taurus energy that's boosting that right now for you. But this 10 of Pentacles, it's amazing because this leveling up that you're going through, like, what you want, Capricorn. What that success looks like for you. The only thing is believing in yourself to do it, like really standing firm in what it is that you want, and knowing that it's okay to change your mind too, right? 2 of Wands with the Temperance card. I love this because what did I say the first time when we were looking at the Temperance card? It's that Temperance card is about making decisions with your heart and your mind, not just intuitively and not just logically, but both. Being balanced, right? And not just like jumping into something, but really being discerning about it. So this 2 of Wands here, like, he's on a journey. He's ready to go. He has decisions that he needs to make, but he has the whole freaking world in his hands right now. This is the thing, you guys, is this is where you can get yourself confused, right? In the 7 of Cups kind of state of mind is when you have the whole world in front of you and what kind of decision should I be making right now? That can drive a person crazy. So make the decisions. That's why we want you to be discerning. That's why we want you to be balanced. That's why we want you to make sure that you are creating from a place of like, yes, I'm rooted right here in the present moment, and I'm not making decisions based on what's happened to me in the past, and I'm not making decisions based on what I'm afraid of for the future. I'm making decisions based on how I feel right now, right? And really connecting yourself to that in a big way. So, 3 of Wands. I don't feel like you're going to be sitting here for too much longer. I feel like, I said that and the Wheel of Fortune came out. Y'all, you cannot make up these things that we talk about. Cannot make it up. Wheel of Fortune. On the 3 of Wands, something is about to shift. And what we have to remember with the Wheel of Fortune is that, yes, that shift is going to be a positive shift, and it's going to move us onto our soul's path, surrendering to the soul's path. But it's all about divine timing. And I don't know if I talked with you guys about this, but very recently, what I've realized is that divine timing is literally your timing as well. When you are aligned to the path that you're supposed to be on and the direction you're supposed to be going, every single thing is exactly lined up to your frequency as well with what's happening. We just don't think that that's where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be further in. We're supposed to be out here. We're supposed to be like way, way, way down here, when actually we're supposed to be what we're doing right there. So the Four of Swords on the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles lack mentality can often come up when we're projecting fears into the future, based on past experiences, based on past traumas, past wounds, past situations that we've been in. So when we really allow ourselves to be present, right, in the Four of Swords, this is meditation. This is healing and meditation and quieting our mind and allowing ourselves to remain present. And when we do that, this lack mentality begins to fall away. It begins to no longer exist in there. You can manifest from a lack mentality, but that's not helping your situation any. Seven of Cups. Ace of Cups. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Moon. So far, everybody's gotten the Moon in their reading. So the solar eclipse is loud and clear. We have the King of Cups on the Seven of Cups. You may be confused about a water sign in your life. It could be a masculine, could be a feminine, doesn't really matter. But you may be confused about a water sign in your life. The funny thing is I think that you're going to get the answers for that, whether you like it or not. Like, I think you're going to, and it could be that you've gotten the answers for it, and that's where your confusion is because you've gotten these answers. And those are not the answers you wanted. And so that's what's confusing you, because you're like, well, this is what I was expecting. Oftentimes we confuse ourselves because we place these expectations on getting particular answers or having particular answers, and those weren't the answers that we needed. That's not what we were supposed to be looking at to begin with. We have the Knight of Swords on the Ace of Cups. Yeah. This in a lot of ways, right? Like, I feel like you're going to have to continuously fill your cup up this month. In April, I think that there's just a lot that's happening and a lot that's going on. So filling your cup up is going to help kind of I feel like someone's trying to argue with you, and I feel like someone's trying to fight with you, and I feel like someone's trying to take away from your cup. That's what I feel like this Knight of Swords is. And I feel like you don't even really see it coming. So that's why I'm like, you got to stand firm for yourself. You being in a good foundation for yourself will help any kind of negative, bad vibrations going on from other people. All right, you guys, what an interesting reading you guys got. You're really leveling up spiritually, and things are shifting, and I don't think that you're going to be standing in limbo for too long. But you have to remember to keep remaining present, because I do feel like there are ways that you could be sabotaging yourself by the way that you're thinking, and I don't want to see you do that to yourself. So remember to keep it real. Keep it real. Keep surrendering to your soul path and keep it real with yourself. I love you guys. I do have an eclipse reading up on my website, and all that information is in the description box, and it'll help us with our journey too. Love you. Bye.